Life is not fair. Fairness is a myth. This is the world we live in, and it is a harsh, dark truth. And there's nothing we can do about it. But there is something that we can do from this basic fact regarding the world. We can use it to rise above, and we can use it to gain strength. First, realize that complaining about the fact life is not fair is a bad path to go down. And I see it all the time. Sometimes I catch myself doing it. And I have to remind myself and be self-aware not to fall into that trap, because I'm not perfect. Right? Nobody is perfect. We all complain about life because life is hard. It's hard for everyone. Sometimes when I go to the gym, there's these guys there, and I hear them talking, and the conversation is always the same. These guys are always complaining. They're always complaining about something. And I keep to myself. I don't talk to these guys. I'm sure they're nice people, but you don't want to surround yourself with negativity. You don't want to surround yourself with complainers. People who complain about the unfairness of life, that brings you down. It's almost like it's an excuse. Like, oh, it's not fair that I didn't get the promotion at work, so now I don't have enough money. Oh, it's not fair that, I'm not naturally gifted. Oh, it's just not fair. Life is not fair. So how can we use that universal truth to better ourselves? How can you use that to become stronger and accomplish your goals? Well, one way to do it is to realize that if life was fair, the world would be a very, very different place, my friends. And this is a pretty deep thought experiment. Pretend for a moment that life was fair, that everyone on this earth had equal opportunities, equal talents, everything was equal. Then what would be the purpose of trying to work harder? What would be the purpose of trying to better yourself? People think that the reward is in the destination. That is wrong. It is all about the journey. It is all about the steps you take every day to accomplish those big dreams. And you should have those big dreams, but the struggle is what builds character, it builds strength, and it makes you feel good when you work hard and accomplish things. If everything is given to you, you are not grateful for it. It's like they always say people who are born rich aren't as grateful for the things that they have. And I do think that's somewhat true, right? If someone gives you something, or if you have some natural ability that someone else doesn't have, for example, maybe you're good at math naturally, you should embrace those gifts. You should embrace those opportunities and be grateful that you have them. But it's hard to be grateful because we're wired to work, we're wired to want more. That is how human beings are created. It's all about the journey. And if life was fair, then what's the point of the journey? The fact that life is not fair teaches us to rise above. We have to work a little bit harder. Accepting the unfairness of life can lead you to take action. Because when you realize that life is not fair, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You say, hey, okay, this situation sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm going to get to work anyways. And it gets you to work. It gets you to grind. And that's how you succeed, because action, my friends, is the only thing you can do in this life that's going to get you results. You can sit around all day and complain about societal issues, complain about school, your teachers, but if you don't act, nothing is going to change for you, right? That's an empowering reality that should get you to get to work right now. Action, action, action. So the next time you're sitting there thinking about how life is not fair and you're complaining, it's okay, you're human. I do it too, we all do it. But fight it. Realize, okay, it's not fair, this sucks. What am I gonna do about it, right? What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna crush it, because I know you will, and you can. And belief is a big part of it. A lot of times people will say, life is not fair, I don't have X, Y, Z, so I can't do this. That's fine, you can do that, but then you're never going to get what you want. You're going to live a life of, what's the word? I think it's mediocrity. I think I said that correctly. English is not my first language. Mediocrity, instead of a life of greatness. People have incredible talents that live inside them. I've seen it. I've taught so many students, thousands, for years. I've seen the potential that lives inside people, not just potential in mathematics, but potential in willpower. Some of the strongest students, some of the most memorable students I've ever had the pleasure of teaching weren't even good at mathematics. In fact, they were the ones that were weak. They were the ones that struggled to learn how to graph a circle. Those students gave me inspiration because I saw what human beings were capable of. I saw how hard people can work. Crush it, my friends. Crush it. This is your one life. Life is not fair, but there's nothing you can do about it except rise above. Accept the unfairness. Use it as a strength. Realize that everyone is living in the same world. If it's unfair for you, it's unfair for everyone, right? People have their own things going on. So when you're sitting there complaining about life, think for a moment about other people. How are they living their lives? Life is not fair for everyone. Everyone struggles. Even people who seem to have it made, people who are billionaires and multimillionaires, and you think, wow, they have all this money, they must be happy. No. Every single person is going through something, right? Every single person. So you can look at someone else who is smarter, who is more wealthy, who is more good looking, and say, oh, it's easy for them. It is not. Every single person has stuff going on. They have things they're fighting, things they're trying to accomplish, demons they're battling maybe. Because the world is hard. It's a cruel place and it's not fair. Use that as your strength to rise above and squash it, my friends. Squash it. I know you can do it. I know you can. I've seen it. Random video. I just wanted to make this because I finished writing a book, and this was one of the talking points in my book. And I'll leave a link in the description to the book if you want to check it out. And I have a bunch of other ones here, but crush it, my friends. Crush it. Stay strong.